video. If you haven't seen by the title, we got a good one today. Basically, it was a boxing event between 7 different YouTubers and 7 different TikTokers, and well, it was eventful. And with that, we're bringing you a Battle Royale today. What would happen if you put all 14 fighters on yesterday's fight card into a Battle Royale? I'll tell ya. Basically, we're going to be covering who would be eliminated in what position and why, and we're going to get right into it. In a Battle Royale, the first person eliminated would be Ben Azalart. Now, no offense to Ben. I love Ben. Really nice kid. But you can tell that boxing wasn't his niche per se. There was a couple times where he was even like turning his back and turning around to the opponent, which obviously you can't do. Now, I will say, I think Ben had one of the tougher opponents of the card, but I think in overall skill set, I think Ben would be eliminated first. Moving on, the next person eliminated would be Michael Lee. Now again, really nice kid, super awesome, but I don't think boxing was quite his niche. And we know that. He said that he had never boxed before, but he was going to train really hard for the fight. Unfortunately, a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever they got isn't enough training to develop a full-blown skill set in the world of boxing. I don't think FaZe Jarvis was like the best fighter ever, and he still had his way in that fight. So with all that being said, yeah, I believe Michael would be out second. The next one eliminated would be Bryce Hall. And this is one of the main event fighters, which is pretty crazy. But again, like I was saying with Ben Azalart, the McBrooms are just savages. So I think that Bryce Hall had one of the tougher opponents of the whole card. I think Bryce has power. I think Bryce has a little bit of scrapping abilities, but he didn't showcase it in that fight. And with that said, this is where Bryce falls. The next one eliminated would be Kale Sorage. Now, Kale was probably one of the most entertaining boxers to like ever watch. Honestly, when he was dancing and doing his little moves is when he was the most effective. And he could throw a punch. He had some power. But his defense was just absent. And we know because he was pretty open about it that he didn't take training quite serious. He only trained for the last week and a half before the event. And I think it costed him. The next one eliminated will be Nate Wyatt. This one was pretty hard for me to determine because Nate's fight went kind of weird. And DDG was beyond skillful. Like DDG was hands down one of the best fighters on the card. But it was a slow-paced fight. Nate didn't really show anything like special. He had a good stance, he had good footwork, but he just didn't show anything past that, which you need to in the boxing world. Moving on, the next one eliminated will be Deji. And this one's surprising for me to do because I thought Deji would be at the top. As we know, Deji was by far Jake Paul's best opponent he's ever had. He's the only one that's really went the distance. And with that being said, I thought that Deji was just going to be one of the best looking people and the most experienced on this card. He came out in round 1 and round 2 looking unbelievable, and then came out in round 3 and started the round by taking a knee because he had nothing left in him. Deji could have been way up on this list, and Deji could have been one of the best fighters of yesterday's card. But because Deji couldn't finish the fight, this is where he is. The next one eliminated will be Ryan Johnston. Frankly, Ryan impressed me. I thought that Kale was actually going to win that fight, especially with his explosive confidence. I thought it was like over. Plus, there was the whole controversy of everyone saying that it should have been Nick Ireland fighting instead of Ryan because Nick beat Ryan. Ryan wasn't all that. He wasn't that good. I was just expecting like Ryan to just be okay and Kale just come out and pour it on. But Ryan came out collective, composed, had good form, good rhythm. Yeah, it was a close fight. I think that Ryan just looked better and well more trained, I guess. The next one eliminated would be Vinny Hacker. Now, Vinny was the only TikToker on the whole fight to get a win. Other than that, YouTube swept the event. But Vinny looked great. Vinny never gave up. That dude has heart, the heart of a champion, a warrior. As I said before, Deji came out and he just tore up round 1 and 2. And then his stamina was gone. Vinny never lost himself. He never lost composure. He held through the tough round 1 and 2. And when Deji gassed out in round 3, Vinny was there to take advantage of it, and he finished it off. He literally did everything he was supposed to. The next person eliminated will be FaZe Jarvis. Now, people might be upset to hear this one, but this is pretty fair. FaZe Jarvis looked great, but he was fighting somebody with probably the littlest amount of fighting experience on the whole card. Once Michael started getting tagged with Jarvis's shots, he just wasn't himself anymore, and he pretty much lost composure. At that point, Jarvis had open way to just let loose and finish the fight. With that, it made Jarvis look like a monster. He just came out and he put Michael on the canvas. But you have to keep in mind, the matchups. The next one's really hard for me, so I'm gonna pretty much do a tie for 5th and 4th, and that's gonna be Landon McBroom and Taylor Holder. Now, Landon McBroom, I really don't even have to explain. We saw the power he was throwing with. He pretty much completely dominated the entire fight. And as far as Taylor Holder, a lot of people are gonna be like, what are you talking about? He got destroyed by Anderson Gibb. Now, I think yesterday we saw the Anderson Gibb that people were expecting against Jake Paul. He just looked like an animal. And I will not discredit Taylor for how the fight went, okay? Taylor was in formation. He looked good. His jabs were snapping. His head was moving. He was throwing them 1-2s. The big thing that held Taylor off from the win was not throwing counter punches. Gibb was just throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing. And then Taylor was waiting for the whole barrage to finish before he started throwing. Now throw in the middle of that barrage, like counter punch. I think that Taylor had his nerves get to him, but in straight fighting stance and just overall, like, he still looked good. Moving on, the next person eliminated will be DDG. Now, I wasn't surprised about DDG. He's known to be athletic. People know he's the real deal. All he needed to do was come out into the ring and prove it, which he did. He said another person that also said he wants to continue into boxing. I saw DDG's training videos before this, and he looked great. I think DDG was one of the best fighters on the card, hands down yesterday. I could probably even put DDG higher, but I'm not going to because I have reasons for the people above him. Moving on, the next one eliminated and in second place is Austin McBroom. There was so much speculation, so many votes of like, I think Bryce will win and I think Austin will win. Austin never lost composure. He said that pretty much this is going to be an easy fight. It's like he was so confident. You could tell with his confidence coming into this fight. And then he came into the ring and showed why he was so confident. Like the fight wasn't even really close. Let's be real. He looked great. He was throwing combos, throwing the 1-2s, blocking his head. Again, I think it would be close between Austin McBroom and DDG. I might have been able to put DDG like one spot higher. I really don't know with those two because they fought in pretty like ways and they pretty much both dominated in the same manner. So yeah, I think it's pretty fair. Austin McBroom second. And finally, the winner of the Battle Royale, Anderson Gibb. And honestly, no offense to Anderson Gibb, I can't believe I'm saying this right now. When we watched him in the Jake Paul fight, oh my God, it might have been one of the ugliest things I have ever seen in my whole life. Dude couldn't stand up on his own 2 feet, like he was just falling down. KSI was propping him up like, yo, dude, he's gonna beat Jake, and yeah, it wasn't even close. And then Gibb came out yesterday. Different animal. This is the Gibb that they thought they were going to see against Jake Paul. His head movement was pristine. He was throwing so many punches, it's not even funny. And able to do it all the way through the 5th round. Never lost the stamina. Looked unbelievable. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would not mind seeing the Gibb-Jake Paul rematch. Like, honestly, let's be real. Anderson Gibb was the best fighter on the card yesterday. And with that being said, that concludes today's Battle Royale. Let me know if you guys would make any changes to this list. Go ahead and share this video with your friends. I want to see what they think about it. If you want to see another specific Battle Royale, let me know that down in the comments. I'm always checking them out and I love making videos off of your guys' recommendations. And last but not least, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. And thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see you on the next Ultimate Battle Royale.